Michael, thank you for being with me this morning. You know this man, Kingsley, who's going to talk to us
I do
presently.
indeed. I'm preaching to him here.
Are you? What are you telling
Well,
him?
that's it. You meet somebody and you take over their job. I'm discussing with him that idea of visualising, verbalising and actualising.
Yes, indeed.
And that I said earlier. So I'm on the 28th of February, I'm visualising 552 people trying to get into the town hall, and 2 of them have to be turned away. Right? So I've just verbalised it, and now we have to go out and actualise that. And it's the Newry's greatest, as Rowan has said, we're plugging it.
Very good.
But
a great cause.
It's for a good cause.
The last thing is I'm going to say is, and I'm visualising 723 people trying to get into St. Patrick's Church one day this week.
That would be nice.
Listen, go well, Michael. Thank you very much indeed.
Bye for now.
Go well. Take care. That's Michael on his way. And just to remind you and the folk that it's the 28th of September, of this month, of February, 28th of February, and it's Newry's greatest at the town hall. And 7 contenders for the title, presentations made by Newry luminaries encouraging you to vote for their particular candidate. And all the money raised on the night will go to Concern Worldwide for refugees from Syria. It's as good as it gets, really, isn't it? Yeah, you're here as usual, dear boy, on the Friday, because last night was Alpha night out at Tesco, and that went very well, I gather. Yes, it was good. It was nice.
I enjoyed it anyway.
Yeah,
I hope you did too.
I did. Yeah, you're a dab hand. You had all the cut of what's your man's name? Garth Brooks with that guitar there, standing up and starting to play. It was a good night.
We started with a song together, so that was a bit of crack as well.
last night the agenda was prayer. And how do you think that went, and where were you taking people in the notion of prayer?
Well, really, I was trying to keep it real. That was a theme that we try to run with in Alpha. We're not into just big theological ideas. We want it to be real. So I was encouraging people to pray as they can, not as they can't. Sometimes we've got ideas that it's all over to religious people or whatever, but another thing we learn in Scripture is that all prayer is valid. And for us to pray as we can, not as we can't, just be ourselves before God. And it's about a conversation as well. You know, sometimes we think prayer has to be particular words, and I don't want to knock that. There's some lovely prayers, and a few were quoted last night as well. But at the end of the day, it's just about being real with God and talking with God like we're doing here now.
I can see God getting a dreadful headache, a migraine. God getting a migraine when people go to him and go, "Oh Lord, in your heavenly wonderment, in your beautiful jeweled throne of the universe, we praise you, we glorify you, we love you." So if I was God, I'd say, give my head peace and just sit down there, have a cup of tea and talk to me. I would want him to do that. But I mean, we have this concept that we need to be buttering him up all the time. But that's not what God's about, is it?
No, I think big introductions to prayers like that, really it's actually about reminding ourselves who we're talking to. I think God knows who he is. You know?
Absolutely.
But in sort of giving those accolades to God, it's like reminding ourselves of who it is we're actually talking to. So in a sense, we're talking to ourselves at that part of it.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to a request, obviously it's over to God, because he's the only one who can answer prayer.
Yeah. The concept of answering prayer, I always feel to pray for something, it's like knocking on somebody's door and saying, "Give me." It's not an attractive trait in people. Give me. I think it's far better to say, "Hello, God, how are you today? How's the world going? And is there anything I can do to help?" And then he might say back, "Yeah, that's fine. That's pretty good. We're doing all right. But do you know what would be nice? If you could maybe do something to help in Syria. Could you do something? Maybe there's the southeast of England at the moment. Maybe you do something there." So that it's an exchange of asking what I can do to help rather than give me something to make me feel better.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. You know, sometimes we have some children. We have 5 children in our house, you know, and sometimes if the children keep coming to you asking for things, you know, it's like, "Oh, give my head peace here," you know. And how lovely it is when a child comes and offers to help. It's like, Oh yeah, that's brilliant. So I'm sure God our Father would really appreciate a prayer like that, saying, God, I'm here, can I help with something today?
The thing about Alpha I'm discovering is that although I remain, as I declared last night, an optimistic agnostic, there seems to be a connectivity of the message through from the very beginning of the biblical story of Genesis, right through to the message of the love of the God of love, right through Calvary, resurrection, and onward, making the world a better place. In my agnosticism, I see very, very clearly the timeline of good that's tied into Christianity.
Oh, that's a good observation. I mean, the Old Testament, and we're talking about the Bible next week actually, but I mean, the Old Testament, probably the image of God that comes from there is quite judgmental and quite harsh and even cruel at times. But then we discover as we move into the New Testament that perhaps that Old Testament was really just in preparation for showing us our need of God. And certainly when we see God through Jesus, it opens our eyes to the love of God like we've never seen before. So there's definitely a connection going through. And I mean, today being Valentine's Day, love is in the air, as they say. So it's always good to know that love is from God, and God is love.
And it's interesting too that the Valentine business taken over by the retail therapists, that the Valentine commences with a Saint Valentine.
It does.
And he I don't quite know what the story was, I'm sure you don't, but it's a story of caring and loving coming from a man who became a saint of the Christian tradition, you know. So that's
yes, it's nice to see it being carried, you know, and dear me, don't we need love in this world, you know. You think of movies that have been made like Love Actually and whatever. I mean, those have sort of become perennial Christmas movies now because they speak about love. We all really need love. And, you know, on a day like this, though, Valentine's Day, I'm always kind of conscious of those who haven't got love, who are single, and, you know, it's almost like don't mention it kind of thing, and I just,
like
you know,
myself.
that's not fair, you know.
Here I am, living
Oh,
alone.
Rowan, you know.
Penthouse in Warren Point, alone.
I suppose that the
huge master bed, no one to share my life. Isn't it terrible?
Well,
how did it come to this, I ask?
Aren't you glad that I'm thinking of you today?
You're so kind.
You know, I just...
But the poet,
it is hard, though, for those who don't know.
The poet Shelley, and we told the people about him earlier, but the poet Shelley in his Love's Philosophy, this is almost a prayer. This is almost a prayer. It's very short. Love's Philosophy, Shelley, we'll do it again just so we can identify the elements of prayer that exist in this. The fountains mingle with the river, and the river with the ocean. The winds of heaven mix forever with a sweet emotion. Nothing in the world is single. All things by a law divine in one spirit meet and mingle. Why not I with thine? See the mountains kiss high heaven, and the waves clasp one another. No sister flower would be forgiven if it disdained its brother. And the sunlight clasps the earth, and the moonbeams kiss the sea. But what is all these kissings worth if thou kiss not me?
Oh,
That's Shelley, isn't that nice?
That's just beautiful. Yeah.
Do you want to?
Well read.
Do you want to take this and read it to Daphne later?
Oh, I'd love to hear
Wow,
it.
we're doing well here. That's good.
You're doing your
big
bit
brownie
first.
points there, I tell you. So your Alpha course just continues to grow. People are coming and coming and coming, and you haven't the heart to tell them not to.
No, it's encouraging, you know. But at this stage, we are trying to keep it because we're into like number 5, so we can't grow this particular course anymore. But we're hoping to run some again in the autumn, and we'll be open for new people to come along.
I think it's a tribute to the course that I am not a biblical scholar. I am certainly not a fan of the Old Testament. Any hope I have lies in the New Testament of the evangelists, the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That makes sense to me. I take the poetry and the richness of language, the musicality of the Old Testament, but I kind of back off the difficult concepts that are put forward. Concepts very often of war, and equally they're concepts of great love. But I back off that, But isn't it interesting that having that doubt about biblical matters, that this course is still holding my attention, and that I actually feel I'm getting something from it. Mm-hmm. I see it as part of my journey on my timeline to find out a wee bit more just about the Christian message of where we're going. And it's doing that for me, which is interesting.
Well, that's good. I mean, it is for anyone and everyone, really. I mean, the Alpha course has been devised for students as well. There's different ranges, but within, I mean, the basic teaching of it is all the same, and it's meant to be able to help people wherever they're at in their journey.
I think the way we're doing it is very good, because you're taking the course and you're interpreting it and delivering it. The kind of formal presentational style of it might be that we sit down and listen for 40 minutes to Nicky Gumbel or somebody else. But we were all shouting, "Who's Nicky Gumbel? We don't want Nicky Gumbel. Give us Kingsley, Kingsley!" And we got you talking, and we could relate to you, we could have a conversation with you, and you were carrying the thing forward beautifully, you know.
Well, that's very kind of you to say. I mean, we'll have to get Nicky Gumbel in here someday, and you can introduce you to
wouldn't
him.
it be lovely? Get him over.
I don't know him that well myself,
yeah,
but anyway.
But he's a good man, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But people like familiarity, and that's my difficulty, because I'm dreading the day that you break us up into groups, and I feel it coming. I feel it lurking over the horizon.
I'm not too sure if we will.
That's good.
I think
I'm
what's
relieved.
happening at the moment seems to be working well.
Seems to be
so
working.
if it ain't broke, we won't fix it. You know.
No, we keep it going. The importance of having a meal together at the beginning of the course session. What is that about?
About getting to know people, I suppose. If we eat together, we get to know each other. I mean, here we are on Valentine's Day. Restaurants will be buzzing all over the country. Why is that? Because people like to eat together.
Yeah.
And it's about relationship. And I think the Alpha course recognizes that there's something special about eating together. Jesus himself did it. I mean, he ate with the undesirables of his day.
Yeah,
he was
absolutely.
He was reprimanded for eating with, who does he think he is, eating with Republicans? I
Yeah.
say Republicans.
No,
excuse me.
Republicans.
Maybe the same thing.
Goodness gracious.
Nationals, whatever. Jesus was going to
Jesus would eat with everybody.
and eat with them.
Yeah.
And for back those times, like, that was a big deal. It really, really was. It was like showing acceptance or something, that you were meeting the person where they are rather than placing kind of high ideals.
It's probably the truth that I am incapable of truly being a Christian in the religious sense, because Christianity requires me to be part of the Christian community.
You find that hard?
I don't want to be part of any community. I like to be solitary. I actually enjoy monasticism. I enjoy being a hermit, if you like. I enjoy thinking alone, praying alone, being alone. I'm not... maybe I've been too often let down by people. Maybe I'm too finely focused on the propensity of people to do the wrong thing, in my terms. So therefore I pull down the portcullis and I say, you shall not enter and I shall not go to you. So although I can accept the God of love, I can't accept too easily his Christians. That's ruling me out, really. Be honest, it is.
I suppose those who chose the monastic life were as Christian as anyone else, I wouldn't rule them out as not being Christian, certainly not.
No, it's,
God has wired us all up differently.
He has, actually, he has.
But I understand what you're saying, that looking at the church sometimes you would just, walk away, give up even, you'd despair. But I suppose that was part of my call into the church, if I'm going to sit back here and complain about what's happening in there, well, who am I? I better go do something about it.
Do something about it,
The church is supposedly reforming from within all the time, and that's what we're trying to do here in Newry, and make things real, because as soon as we go off into sort of theological tangents and we go aloof,
See, when I look at
really work.
sanctimonious is a word that's coming to mind. When I see well, they're not so packed nowadays, but when I see churches and their congregations on Sundays, I don't understand why there has to be a food bank in Newry. Of all these people pouring out of the Catholic churches, the Protestant churches are walking to the tune of the God of love, then they'll be sorting out poverty in Newry. But you will find in Newry, those self-same people, my greatest sin is judgmental, and I confess it now. But I believe these people will say, and they're saying it already, why should we help the refugees in Syria? These are churchgoers, when we have our own to look after. And the concept of our own being the entire world is foreign to them. I find that difficult to walk with.
I suppose that the saying, charity begins at home,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But, it's a shame if that's the case, because I think God wants to enlarge our hearts, you know,
Yeah.
and if it's into a worldwide embrace, all the better.
Absolutely.
I think that's the
Absolutely.
God of love at work, the broadening our hearts out. So
Yeah.
I would be all for encouraging people to think bigger and to see who they can help, even if they are in Syria or thousands of miles away.
Yeah.
Why not help them anyway? Yes.
Absolutely.
Why
I
not?
understand. I understand. So, next week, what will we be doing on the course?
Well, it's about the Bible.
The Bible?
Yes.
New Testament or Old Testament?
Both.
Both.
Yeah. Why and how to read the Bible, and the importance of that to the Christian faith.
Yes.
So it can be a challenging one. You know, sometimes the Bible seems quite mysterious because it's such a big, thick book, and it's a lot of reading. And how can we begin to make sense of this? But hopefully, the Alpha course will kind of give a framework
Yeah.
where we can kind of get an idea of the basic story behind it, which gives us kind of hooks to hang things on and makes a bit more sense then for us.
Okay, let's look forward to that. It's certainly a challenging Thursday night, and I thank you for that. And it's really good. Kingsley Sutton, go well and have a wonderful Valentine's. And take that poem with you. You'll need that. That'll be good.
Can I read a bit of poetry for you too?
Of course you may.
Well, I thought, being Valentine's Day, I might as well just read a part of the definition of love that you'll find in 1 Corinthians 13. You know, I was amazed this morning. I did a Google search for 1 Corinthians this morning. I just put in 1, and I put up 1 Corinthians 13. You know, there must be a lot of people looking at 1 Corinthians 13 today. But the first aspect of love is patience. It's patience. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. May you have a very good, special St. Valentine's Day today.
God bless you.
Thank you very
Go well.
much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Music maestro, please.
I got a woman with plenty of money. She got the money and I got the honey. I called my baby late last night. She told me, Daddy, everything was alright. She got the money and I got the honey. She got the money and I got the honey. baby, when everything seems okay, baby, you wake up and find that you're alone. 'Cause I'll be gone. Gone, gone, gone. Really gone. Gone, gone, gone. 'Cause you done me wrong. And everyone that you meet, baby, as you walk down the street, baby, will ask you why you're walking all alone.